Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Governor Sisolak, for convening this important conversation. I am Assemblywoman Daniele Monroe-Moreno. I'm the Assistant Majority Leader in the Nevada State Assembly. I represent Assembly District 1, which primarily sits in North Las Vegas. I've never been one to stand on the sidelines or to remain silent when I witness injustice in our society. But I have to admit, I am truly, truly heartbroken. As a former corrections officer for more than 28 years, I saw firsthand the systemic racism that exists in our society. And I cry for my Black community and the struggles to be seen as equal, for the Black mothers who have lost their children. I cry for my brothers and sisters in blue who are doing the work with honor day in and day out, and for those who have been injured or lost their lives in the process. The weight of this time, it's overwhelming. And it's why it's been difficult for me to put my feelings, my anger, and my pain into words. The COVID-19 global pandemic that we're all experiencing created an economic crisis that has many people on edge and unsure of their future and that of their children. But on May 25th, when we looked at our social media accounts and turned on our television sets, we saw yet another Black man losing his life to the actions of a white police officer. An officer that literally sat on his knees with his hands comfortably positioned in his uniform pants pockets, putting the weight of his body on the neck of a man that we now all know as George Floyd. And for many, it was simply the last straw. It unleashed the deep-seated anger, pain, and distrust that 400 years was in the making, leading to what we now have as a crisis, but a loud, resounding call for justice. All of this has impacted the Black people more than any other demographic in our country. We are dying at higher rates from COVID. We have higher jobless rates because of the economic impact of COVID. And now we have added the pain of George Floyd's horrific murder caught in broad daylight, with us collectively asking, when will it all end? This pain is hard. And it's so much more than just the knee on George Floyd's neck. So many people feel that there has been a knee on their neck for so many years in so many different situations. We see it in our education system, the disparity in our healthcare system, the economy, our criminal justice system, and frankly, in the very fabric of our everyday lives. While working in law enforcement, I fought daily to make things more equal within the department for the officers serving with me, while never forgetting that the people coming into our custody were human beings. They were someone's mother, father, sister, brother, son, and daughter, and they deserve to be treated with respect. I proudly took my oath of office, and I accepted the responsibility to ensure the care, custody, and control of those placed in my charge. I and the majority of the men and women that I worked with took our duties very seriously, holding ourselves to higher standards and demanded the same of those working with us. But sadly, that was not the case on May 25th in Minnesota, or the case with Tamar Rice, just a 12-year-old boy, or the case with Breonna Taylor, who would today be turning 27 years old. So we speak your name today, Breonna. When an officer graduates from the academy, he or she swears an oath to serve and protect their community. We have the right to expect that when they raise their right hand and they take that oath, but they're held to higher standards too. If they violate that oath to the people that they are supposed to protect, it is incumbent upon all of us to ensure that the protocols are followed, that we effect laws that are swift in their removal if it's deemed necessary, and that justice is fair. I don't know when I, as a Black woman, will be seen as more than just my skin color, but yes, I am a Black woman, and I'm proud of it. But I'm also a mother, a grandmother, a former corrections officer, a state legislator, and I am your neighbor. But most importantly, I'm a human being. We have a right to protest. That right is sacred, as sacred as the right to vote, and we must do that too. We have an election in just a few days where we have a chance to elect judges who will stand up for equal rights, for school board members who will deliver more equitable education, for legislators who are doing the work day in and day out to represent you. And of course, in another election in 150 days, we must stand together to defeat those who do not believe our cause is just. So, continue to protest. Protest and be outraged, but protest in peace. Don't be a part of those who come to loot and take advantage of our cause. Protest against the crimes that have been committed upon us, but do not in any way become the criminals with them. And then, after we protest, join me. Join us all at the voting booth. Fill out your census forms. Volunteer at a homeless shelter. Attend a job fair. And at the legislature, join us and speak up for bills that will continue to create change. We have seen gaping cracks in our society that are painful, but they can be healed. It starts with first admitting that there is a problem. Even with the work that we've accomplished in the state legislature, there is still more that we can do. As a community, we need not to be afraid to speak truth to power, but we must embrace our cultural differences while acknowledging that no matter our skin color, we are all human beings. From there, we can start an honest dialogue to open communication, which will lead to healing that our community needs. But this isn't something that I, Speaker Frierson, Attorney General Ford, or Governor Sisolak can do on our own. It's going to take all of us working together. And I know if we do that, we can heal. And with that, I will turn it over to Attorney General Ford.